Yeah, we're back.
Preemptive.
Oh my god! Welcome back. Yeah, again.
Those are good cards. You are correct.
Hey, we're back. Sorry about all this notification spams. I don't know what's going on. I still have internet connection when it goes down. We just lose connection to our servers. To catch you up on what happened. Vincent forfeited 2 agendas. He's back up to 4-point round the remote. It was the Global Food Initiative. That was the right play. Now Ryan looks like he's shuffling with preemptive, putting cards back in his deck. It looks like the hard-hitting users are back. Vincent's credits are gone. He's down to 4 credits, 4 bad publicity. Now Ryan did shuffle the deck, so a turning wheel dig is actually pretty good right now. He's going to see new cards. 16 minutes left in the round. Mind you, these guys are 4-4. And there's 5 agenda points that are out of the game, which if you're assuming the deck has 20, there's not that many left in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5. There's only 6 agenda points left in the whole game. If I'm not mistaken, the only agendas in this game are 2 foods. 2 foods left in the game, and that's going to be pretty difficult to find. It's also going to be pretty difficult for Ryan to win. That's it. That's one of the foods. It wasn't. It was actually a food. It was a food, Terrence. He had to get it, and he did. Sorry, it cut out of the absolute worst part. I'm going to start recording this, too, so we can load a VOD. That's perfect. I don't know why I didn't record earlier. We'll do that between the cut. Okay, so 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's only 1 agenda left in the deck. There's 1 Global Food Initiative somewhere, which is an issue for Ryan. It looks like Vincent is tagged. He did take the tag, and 1 tag is actually really scary because high-profile target does kill with no hand size. He survived with 1 tag and no cards in hand. He did not get high-profile target. There might be a bunch in archives, and it looks like Ryan was just drawing for it feverishly. But with no money, and the Data Raven, mind you, does nothing. Oh, he has 5 tags, mind you. Excuse me. He has 5 tags. Vincent is just trying to win. He lost his turning wheel. Ryan took that away from him. And Surveyor up the top. Yeah, YouTube went down. Twitch went down too. My server just went down, apparently. It did not connect to it. That's been happening a lot. I'm going to record these videos too, so we can upload them after. So they'll be flawless still. We'll be streaming here. So sorry if you're getting notification spammed. Icing Archives, that's going to start the Omar runs. And with 5 tags, that Omar run is not even that impactful considering that Vincent could dedicate himself to the Raven. Mind you, still 1 agenda left in the whole deck if I've done my math correctly. I think I've done my math correctly. And I don't know how many cards Ryan has, but if he draws a high-profile target, Vincent dies. If he draws a boom, Vincent dies. If he draws a food and jams it, Vincent might not win, considering that's a big remote. Mind you, those are 8 strength surveyors, 2 in a row. What a card. And if he forfeits, if Ryan forfeits another agenda to the Resin Archer, something like that, single axis, that's an economic warfare. If he reses another archer, he goes down to 3 points, which means it's impossible for Ryan to win off of agenda points. And then all Vincent has to do is clear the tags and not run ever. Which I don't know if he knows it. I don't know if Vincent's done the math. But if he could just get an archer res, he's good. He's running HQ here. Looks like there's nothing in there, otherwise Ryan might have resed. He ran through Omar, through archives. And Vincent might actually just decide to start clearing the tags. But the problem is even if he clears 3 tags, he dies to a high-profile target. And did he see in hand a consulting visit? Or was that an economic warfare? I don't remember. But if it's a consulting visit, he still dies. Paying 6 for a single, he's running through the archer.
Mandatory.
And if that's a consulting visit, that's consulting visit into high-profile target. Credit.
Not an agenda.
Consulting visit. Plays a high-profile target from the deck. 6 tags. Vincent gonna get squeaked out there. Consulting visit into high-profile target. A high-profile target does double the meat damage as tags you have, which is 12 meat damage. It's hard to walk away from that.
It was 12. I got burned by a Shadow Net before.
And Ryan Emerson picks that one off.
I ended up decking myself because he just kept.
If I'm not mistaken, we've seen 3 games or 6 games today, and 4, if not 5 of them, ended in flat lines. We are not kind to each other out here in Montreal. What a game. Literally 1 agenda left in the deck that we were digging for. Absolutely crazy. Vince understood what he had to do, but at some point, if they jam through that surveyor remote, you have to go. And that play where he knew if that's food, I lose. I need to get in there. I need to forfeit my agendas. That was totally the right play. I didn't look at the numbers because our stream cut down, but if he could have forfeited one fewer agenda, he would have won. He would have been at 8 points, but absolutely vicious. Ryan telling story of our game last week. Oh, excuse me. I don't hear the table talk. Apologies for the stream going down. We're going to hit the record button here. Obviously, we're not streaming at our own connection. We're on the Wi-Fi at a game store, so it's not going to be reliable. I think we've only gone down 3 times, twice in that match, though, which is a bit upsetting. But I'm going to set up the recording here. What's up? My name is Andre. Welcome to the Metropolitan Grid. We are streaming the last regionals here. FFG regionals at least. We got one more round after this. This was top 3 rounds. I think they split there, so they're both still hanging in. They have to sweep their last round if they want to make the top 8 cut. Misan's one of the favorites around here. If you ask me, Ryan's new to the game. I've never met him, so I can't say he's a favorite. Maybe he is. It's as long as he keeps coming back, it's no big deal. Hey, glad you feel that way. For all the people we're sending push-out notifications to. So sorry. I'm going to set up the recording on here so that we can get some VODs. I'm going to record the next game to see if it bogs everything up. Hopefully it doesn't. Otherwise, I'm going to see the standings. How much more time we got in the round? How much more time? I got to get a check. We got about 10 minutes. Cool. That's pretty good. Shout out these overlays. A lot of them came from, especially all those cards and those things, they came from Dodgepong and VTTV League. Thanks for letting, they're publicly available, it seems. Let's set up the recording settings. Boggs did a good job when Netrunner asked going. Bogs everything up. I'm going to set up the recording. I'm going to throw it to a timer. We probably have 10 minutes before the round is over, and after that we'll get standings for 3rd round, and we'll go into our 4th and final round of Swiss. We'll be right back. We might be back sooner, but I'm just going to throw the timer up so that I can set up my stuff. What's the ETA till next round? Hey, what's up, Chaz? It's about 10 minutes till this round's over. So from there it's going to be like 15. Probably another 5 on that to do pairings. Maybe everyone goes to the restroom. We'll be back real soon. Don't go anywhere. Actually, just like we'll hang out here because I got to reset the timer. Be right back. Hey, welcome back. We have just called time in the round. I think we're going to take probably 5 minutes to do pairings. Looks like the game's actually still going on right now, and they get 2 last turns, so that might take a bit. It looks like Alex is playing a real burner here, really thinking it through. Looks like the recordings are working okay, so we're going to record the games as well, and we'll probably be back in 10 more minutes. Sorry to pull down the timer just to put another one up, but it seemed fair. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Pretty good card.
Welcome back to the Metropole Grid. This is the 2018 Montreal Netrunner Regionals. We're in round 4. Last round is Swiss. That camera's a bit more crooked than I want it to be. I'm going to go fix it. On the left, we have Remy Kappa Graydon, well known around these parts for being kind of a meme in chat, playing on that Dragon Ball Z playmat that we do give him shit about. Apparently that's not Goku. On the right, we have Sunko Lee coming back from round 1. He has potential unleashed against a Cabanessa Wu. I don't know what Remy's playing on. We have seen Sunko's deck. That's a lot of damage in that deck. Maybe Remy could be on that feedback filter. That's generally the good counter there. I'm going to straighten that camera up, and we'll be right back in a second. The round hasn't started yet. Don't go anywhere.
And he got third? Or what did he get? Oh, and Josh doesn't want to go. And Alex is
What's up? Cameras a what?
That's what I'm going to do.
Oh.
I didn't win this.
Can't fix it.
There you go. There's my full remote.
Peter can't win. I'll get him this year. But still play out. Don't worry about it. Still play out stuff like
Keep saying that. He's not even playing. So all the tournaments been sold.
All right, here we are.
Start at the beginning and then.
Two dudes have a good sense of humor about what's going on here. I don't know. So potential unleashed
Cool.
is from the Red Sand Cycle.
I saw agendas before he could.
So it's a techie identity that says that whenever the runner takes at least one damage, one net damage, excuse me, do a damage. Take a card off the top of the stack and then trash it. Sorry, it largely doubles the amount of damage that you're doing through net damage abilities. But what's important to know is that this will never kill you. This is not something about lethality. They're not trying to burst you and kill you by flatlining you. They're trying to grind your deck down to the point where you have no cards left and you can't run because there's Kakagos on every central server, because Obokata Protocol is a threat, Hokusai Grid is a threat, and House of Knives is a threat. So Remy Rudge has to play very conservatively with his cards. He doesn't want to be drawing too much. He doesn't want to be installing cards he doesn't need. And talking about installing cards, on the other side of the table, Remy is playing as Cabanessa Wu. Let me pull that up real quick. Cabanessa Wu is a Shaper, 45-15. One link, though. Not going to matter this matchup, but that's always good to see. And Cabanessa Wu can spend a click to install a program from her stack, not a virus, reducing the cost by 1, but then you're going to have to go ahead and remove it from game at the end of the turn. This lets Remy tutor for cards like Magnum Opus on turn 1. And it looks like we're on 65 minutes, starting right there, round 4. Good luck, have fun, everyone. So see how Remy builds his deck. It looks like he has the new, I don't actually know the name of that one, the new console that lets him access multiple cards from R&D. It's pretty good with Turning Wheel. We'll see how he's playing it. And Ice R&D turn 1 makes a lot of sense from Sunko. He just doesn't want to lose the indexing. He is running 3-pointers, and we don't know what sort of restricted card Remy is on. If he is on the Film Critic, that's very good for him. Doesn't have to deal with Obokata. Doesn't have to play the side game when it comes to Future Perfect, and that is going to be a Deuce's Wild to start. Like Remy's going for the draw again. Draw doesn't matter that much, or draw is something that's important in this matchup, but you don't want to overdo it. Playing things like Dirty Laundry to get a central server access might not be the best use, specifically when he has a Hokusai Grid that Remy can't trash, or actually he can. He has exactly 4 credits. Oh, and Sunko revealed he has a Future Perfect in hand. That is not something you want to be doing. And 1 damage off the top, 1 damage from hand. That's losing a Misdirection. A card that doesn't matter in this matchup is a tag prevention card. And he's losing Clot, which is actually pretty good in this matchup. Single access, that's going to hit the Arc Lockdown. Going to go ahead and trash that Hokusai, gain 5 credits back. It's good to trash that upgrade, actually. I didn't see that was there, so that's actually a pretty good run. So Sunko's plan largely is to make sure he gets Kakagos on all central servers, click for credits, and if Remy doesn't run, he's going to be able to Fast Events with Shimmer from 10. He knows the Future Perfect is in here. Imagine we have that nice side game art. This is a really big card. If Remy can steal this, it gives him 3 points on the table, and it's the only 3-point agenda in this deck that is easy to steal. The other one takes 5 cards out of your deck, and this is a really big deal. And an uniced HQ. Looks like Sunko is going to protect that paying 1. Remy pays 0, and Remy might just want to go back in there and go back for that. You play a side game every time, though. And Sunko can't afford to keep doing that over and over again. Now this is a 1 and 4 to find it into another 1 and 3. Oh man, Remy pulls it off the top. Remy's had that mat for as long as, yeah, Remy's been playing with only that mat. He has a lot of good Netrunner maps. And that's 0. Oh, so there you go, Remy. That's such a big deal in this matchup. A lot of people say that in this matchup that doesn't aggressively score agendas, if you can get 3 points early, you can sit back for a lot of it because they're going to have to fast advance the majority of their agendas out to even have a chance of winning on agenda points. Now, Remy can't take this game to time. It is the first round. Not that he wants to grind this one out, but let's go get the accesses. Sunko doing nothing but clicking for 3, and Remy's trying to go for that agenda. Hitting that arc lockdown again. He doesn't want to poke. The worst card he could hit here with no breakers is a Komainu, a card that's not that popular right now due to the prevalence of Clan Vengeance. But that does actually 10 damage. 5 from hand, 5 from the deck. Breach Dome. Gonna trash 1 card from hand. This is meat damage though, but still trash the top card of the stack, and Remy's gonna lose a stim hack. Not a card you want to play in this matchup. Losing a turning wheel, that's one of the best cards in this matchup specifically. That's always kind of a, don't want to see that one go. And there's a lot of randomness to this matchup. There's a lot of like edge of the seat. Oh, I hope things are gonna be okay here, because you can always have that 1 card you need in your deck and you lose it to the top. To things like Breach Dome or just net damage. And we still haven't seen Remy's restricted card and whatever it is. It's going to do work. Both Employee Strike and Film Critic, both very good in this matchup. Even Magnum Opus isn't that bad as long as he has something like Feedback Filter so he can leverage that money to prevent damage. It looks like he might be playing some tech cards considering he does have the Misdirection, but that's a much easier card to play. It's a program you can pull from Cabinessa's deck in a panic. Feedback Filter is a program. And Diesel's in hand. I think he has 2 with the new console. Don't know the name of it. Hopefully he never plays it, so I don't have to look ignorant. And just taking 4 credits, which a lot of time is the right play. They're not doing anything aggressive. Now they're pushing for a remote server. Mind you, Remy can always pull for an option. Mind's Eye Therabray, thank you. I just have to stall before Chad has my back. And taking 4 credits again, Remy, I think we've talked about this before with him, but that's a lot of times the right play in these circumstances. Now, Sunko knows that, and he must have jam an agenda to the remote. If Remy threatened Clot, which he no longer is, considering it is an archive, Sunko can fast events out with shipment from Tenon. But Remy just wants to get his breakers up, not install too many cards, and then just poke things if he can. And that could be a House of Knives, could be a Snare, could be a Breach Dome, Hokusai. Those are the options that are going through Remy's head right now. And he's using Cabinet's ability. We saw Magnum Opus in there. We saw Divide and Conquer. We saw that some of Remy's cards are upside down. And it looks like we're going to install the self-modifying code with Cabinet's ability. That lets him the flexibility to run this remote. He has the credits to use it. Mind you, he's been clicking for a lot. It's going straight into indexing. You don't want to see a Kakugo there. It isn't a Kakugo. That's an AK. An Aiki. Which is a well-costed card. That one costs 1 to res. Now you can break that with the install on the Gordian Blade and break that. It's going to cost you, if you want to break all the subroutines, it's going to cost you 3 credits. You can always play the side cam and draw cards. Sometimes that actually helps Remy. As much as Sunko wants Remy to draw through his deck, that actually helps if he needs to steal an Obokata. He's going to see 5 cards here, and he can run back. If he wants to see... He can actually win, in theory. Like, if he hits Obokata into House of Knives, he wins. It looks like there's a House of Knives on top, so that's going to put Remy on 4 points, meaning he wins in a single agenda. That's huge. That's a really big deal. He also knows what he's going to draw, so he doesn't have to play around shipment from Tenon. Doesn't have to worry about snares or breach domes. And we're going in. It's a House of Knives scored. 4 points for Remy. I think he's heavily favored at this point. That was a really strong opening. Future perfect opening hand.
No, you got
very, very good. What's in the remote server? We still don't know. And off the top, that is a hedge fund. Gonna give Sunko the credits. I haven't seen Sunko's list yet, but a lot of these decks can get away with not running. Big Ice. And that's a value neural. Does Remy play to break the side game? Yeah, he can. Neural EMP, gonna hit the Beth Kilrain Chang. I don't know who signed that one. Remy did a really cool thing in Montreal where he basically went around to players in Montreal and got them to sign the card that he most attributes to their name. I'm not sure who signed that one. Definitely a Shaper player here in Montreal. And House of Knives, that was in the remote server. That card represents 6 damage, 3 from hand, 3 from deck, and Sunko can fire this whenever he wants. If you need to get through a Kakugo, that's pretty rough. And if Remy can just draw into another indexing, he might have it. Miraju is the savior Sunko has, and just icing up all the centrals. So now shipment from Tenon is kind of hard to dispel. Now Remy is going to want Cabanessa into his SMC, and there's an interesting play here. If Remy pulls with Cabanessa's self-modifying code, and he runs and he wants to use it, oh, that's a Drudge Work. We've seen this card all day, actually. Excuse me. But if Sunko doesn't res, that SMC is going to be trashed anyways. I guess Remy could still use it. This is a new card that we've been seeing a lot of. This is Drudge Work. It's a Wayland agenda that lets you gain credits and hide agendas. You still have to trash it. It doesn't trash itself until it's done. It gets 3 uses, and it looks like an Obokata protocol is going to be shuffled back into the deck, and that's a really big deal. It's definitely safer in R&D where it can be protected by maybe Kakugos. Maybe it's mixed within Breach Domes, making multi-access a lot harder. But he also got 3 credits doing that. And if he doesn't trash that Drudge Work, just about any card in HQ, any agenda could be buried. That's still really good. And Remy's just clicking for 4 credits. He understands drawing is bad. He just needs a modicum of breakers, which he always can threaten with Cabanessa Wu. Threatening fast events would be a bit better, but he just needs to get 1 good access. 1 good Mind's Eye, maybe. 1 good indexing. He can do it. He can definitely do it. And stealing the Obokata, doing 5 damage doesn't matter if it wins you the game. Now, we haven't seen that much diversity in the ice here that Sunko is playing. It looks like he also has a Restore. That card can threaten Claw, not at instant speed like Clone Chip. Restore, mind you, I think that's what that card is called. I never get, no, it's not called Restore. Restore is, what is the name of this card? Yeah, it has a name like Restore. Restore is an HP card. It's in, I gotta look this one up, huh? Maybe chat, you can help me out with this one. But it's a card that lets you trash a card from hand to install a virtual program from your heap. And by install, I think add it to your hand. It lets him get the Claw back, so if he loses anything to damage, he can pull it back. It also lets him recur that Turning Wheel. It's Reclaim. Thank you. How's it going, Phil? Reclaim actually is one of the only cards in the game that lets him tutor, or not tutor, but return the Turning Wheel to hand. That's a really big deal, considering the Turning Wheel can win games. It's good multi-access. I haven't played this one yet. You trash this, and a click, put it back into your hand. Mod is coming out. Oh, he's throwing out the Motto with the Reclaim. That's the Turning Wheel. Remy doing what he needs to do. He needs to get that multi-access. He wants to get 1 good run. That's all he needs. Being up 4 points this early against this while not having your deck grind down, being ground down is such a big deal. And looks really good. Crick. Remy breaks a Crick for 2 credits. It's on HQ, not a 6 strength ice. Still a pretty good piece of ice. It brings back a lot of annoying things. It brings back Hokusai grids. It brings back the Drudge Works. But for 2 credits, he's going to get single access there, get a token. No knives are going to be thrown from the house. But Remy's going to open up that colorful bag and get some counters on the turn wheel. Actually, we are throwing knives, excuse me. Losing a Stim Hack. Losing a Maxwell James, a nice 1 influence splash in just about any deck. It's not that impactful in this matchup. Actually, de-resing Kakugo sometimes is cool. That's 2 Turning Wheel tokens. Looks like he ran twice.
For Turning Wheel, run. What was your last?
I'm not sure what actually happened there.
Okay.
But he wants to build up that Turning Wheel. Triple ice on R&D and an upgrade. That's probably Hokusai, hopefully double Kakugo for Sunko. We did see when Remy was going through his deck, he actually has a copy of Divide and Conquer for 4 influence, which if he just builds the Turning Wheel counters up, oh my god, Drudge Work, shuffling back 6 points of agendas. Sunko just gained 6 credits, shuffled away 6-point agendas. Remy knows they're all in R&D, and that's why Sunko's protecting R&D like that, and if he can just get the Turning Wheel Divide and Conquer combo off, that's so good. That Drudge Work just doing an immense amount of work. They were in HQ. It seemed like they were in HQ. He missed them. Maybe he drew into both of them. House of Knives. That's firing. It's doing a damage here.
Oh, okay.
And you see, there's all these cards that Remy has in his hands, and he's not playing them. That's pretty good discipline. Things like Daily Cast are good. They're not necessary when Sunko's not pressuring Remy to do anything aggressively. The worst threat is obviously the shipment from Tenon. But you can just click for 4 credits. Now, installing your Daily Cast does buy you that, but if Remy just needs cards in his deck, if that's the most important resource here, then so be it. It's not like this is a Glacier matchup. And Arc Lockdown's going to fire. That's going to remove the Nanotech from the game. We got to hope that Remy's on multiple copies of his breakers, because otherwise... Do I not have Arc Lockdown in this thing? No, oh, I spelled it wrong. Otherwise, that's going to be an issue. Arc Lockdown, remove a card from the heap. It looks like he lost that. Escher also coming out from the damage. An issue, because now Kamainu is definitely a threat. And there's 1 preemptive out of the game already. Yeah, Kamainu is now a huge threat. Cortex Lock you can play around. Kamainu is generally the big one you're worried about. I don't know whether he's going to be on Neural Katana I haven't seen that card in a minute. Even a non-C, maybe at this credit level you can play it, but absolutely insane. The Agenda Suite here is triple Opacata, 2 Future Perfect, 3 House of Knives, 1 Philotic. That's totally it. I haven't seen the deck list. I'm just pretty confident that's it. We saw Sunko in round 1. He actually ground out a 50-card Valencia deck that was drawing pretty hard. Escher is actually a really good include. I think modernly in these decks, there's the Cortex Lock. Now, he only has 1 unused MU, so the damage is actually not that bad. He could just pop the self-modifying code, though, and hopefully he has another nano attack. But Escher's pretty good in a meta with cards like Surveyor. You got to reposition those the way that you want, and looks like Remy is going to now use... Woo! He's going to use the Lamb. His Lamb is now a Sentry Breaker. Only break 1 Sentry a run, considering the limitations on Lamb. But Lamb is a very well-statted Fractor that lets you pay 2 credits to make an encounter piece of ice a barrier until the end of that run, or the end of the encounter, excuse me. And that is a really good deal. It makes any Sentry... To that, it's also 2 MU, which helps Remy on his plan of just flooding his MU, so he doesn't have to deal with the Cortex Lock. And still a pretty good breaker. Briggscat could go for 2. That's okay, I guess. And losing a Diesel on the top. You know, Remy's deck is getting pretty thin. You also notice the placement. You want to get your Scary Us on the outside. If there's a Kakugo on the outside of R&D, that's a place where Remy can go to farm turning wheel counters. And Remy just wants to win off the Divide and Conquer, which is totally possible. Now, the order for Divide and Conquer is a bit scary, because if he X's HQ first, hits snares, and then runs R&D and hits more snares, he's going to die. So you might not even want to go too big, too deep on those servers. Card in a remote server easily could be a Judge Work. Could also be the last House of Knives, even a Philotic. Remy has been running once per turn, so the Shipment from 10 in play might not be something Sunko is counting on. And apologies, I don't hear the table. I think Remy might have just clicked for 4. Oh, I gotta update the scores. Excuse me, it's 4-1. Archive Memories, that's gonna play a card back. That's a Hokusai Grid. You can put that anywhere. That just does value damage. It's gonna fire no matter what. You wanna run HQ, you're gonna take 2 more damage. You're gonna lose your deck. This is why installing as few cards as possible is good. And that's gonna go into the remote server. There could have been card tricks there. Sunko might have installed something else, but there's obviously an upgrade in there. Every time I tune in, it's Sunko. Travis, how's it going? Thanks for your support, Hustle, for your help with all the overlays and for streaming last week. Check out VTTV Live. Toronto Regionals 2018 was last week. Upgrade on HQ. I'm pretty sure there's a Judge Work hanging out of the remote server, which is really hard to go trash. You have to break through 2 ice. Again, 2 sentries in a row is Remy's fear right now. A 3 ice remote. It looks like Sunko understands. At 4-1, you're going to have to jam cards in that remote server. And by cards, it means this card right now. Mind you, Philotic Entanglement does do 3 damage. 2 for the Agendas, 1 for the extra potential unleash damage. I don't think it's going to ever kill Remy, but he's going to have to watch out. And Sunko is not playing around Divide and Conquer, just like you largely don't play around a 4 influence run event in Cabanessa Wu. Remy just taking 4 credits. House of Knives being scored. That's another 6 damage, putting Sunko up to 2. That's another agenda of the deck that's actually Remy wasn't interested in stealing. It's all about the 3-pointers, and there's still 4 left in the deck. How many cards Sunko has? But with preemptive, he makes that a lot. So turning wheel draw. If he's drawing, I'm pretty sure Remy wants to run. It looks like Remy's going to run this turn. He's running R&D. He's running the hard way, too. He has 8 cards in hand. House of Knives, Hokusai Grid, all that's going to be an issue here. Now, 2 sentries coming in. That's a Komainu, and this actually might end the run. So, with Lamb, Komainu is actually only broken for 4 credits, which is not that bad, but if the second ice is a Komainu, that's basically game losing. Komainu, mind you, has 8 subroutines right now, and Lamb breaks it relatively well. Luckily, it is an envelope. I think Lamb breaks envelope for 4 credits. It's actually not good either. And then Aiki is another 2. And there's going to be a Hokusai Grid on top. Remy might actually just use the turning wheel here to see 3 cards. Yeah, I think you want to actually maybe play the side game to draw. Depends how many cards you have in your hand. But Hokusai doing another 2 damage. Hokusai Grid is from the core set. My core set cards aren't working. It looks like we're going to be hitting 3 cards here with the turning wheel. This easily could be game. He's choosing his access order. He wants to trash the Hokusai first. I don't think it actually makes a difference. First card, that's a snare. Man, I wish I could fire that. But that's an issue because Remy's taking 3 damage here. His second snare might just be lethal. 1 card off the top of the deck. Depends on how many cards in hand. Remy only has 3 cards in hand, which means he can't steal Obokata, which means the only future perfect is left. Absolute brutal turn, and there's a Neural EMP on top and 2 in ice. So didn't actually matter after all. Turning Wheel getting a counter back, but he now knows what it takes to run that server. It's honestly not that expensive. Oh yes, so Sunko didn't have 4 credits. Second snare is fine. I never checked that. Now Sunko has no credits, which is really good.
I owe you a card though.
So Remy could like run HQ and not worry about the Hokusai, but he did just click the 3. He knows he drew the Neural EMP too, which he could have credit played. Neural EMP does 2 damage, grinds him out. I think it's all about the divide and conquer, and you see the placement of the ice. There's no good way to build Turning Wheel tokens. Did he clear a tag? I don't think so. I don't think he took the tag. Too late for us to fix that. So technically Remy is tagged, and if Sunko remembers, so be it.
Just want to see what's going on in there. Okay.
So yeah, the placement is good here. If Remy fills, if he installs one more MU of programs, he can just smash into that Cortex lock over and over again, just to get Turning Wheel tokens. And looks like Sunko is just clicking for 3. It's 4 for Camino, 4 for Envelope, 3. It's 11 credit run. Yeah, it is. But if Remy's clicking for 4 every turn, he's not doing anything else. And you notice even like playing so few cards that Remy has played. Like he's played no Daily Cast, he's played no resources besides ShadowNet. And that one other card I already forgot the name of. There's the Divide and Conquer. Even without playing anything, he still has few cards in his deck, and he has to watch out for that. Hey Truce, nice clean format, Killing Gun commentary. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying it. I have this stuff recorded too. I'll be back on the channel. Installing the daily casts, I think the only reason he's doing that because he's had 6 cards in his hand. Maybe he overdrew, but he found the Divide and Conquer, and that's really the biggest deal. If he installs another piece of MU, he can slam into Cortex Lock, Divide and Conquer, access new cards. R&D is now fresh off the top. New card in the remote server though, and he knows it can't be the House of Knives. 3 are out of the game, so if it's anything, it's the Philotic. Again, the Philotic does 3 more damage, and it puts Sunko on game point at 4. So I think it's all about that Divide and Conquer. If he can just click to 3. Mind you, Divide and Conquer's not even that good with that Turning Wheel. Oh, it's another Dredge Work. It's a big deal. I don't think Sunko's playing Georgia. I love Georgia. I've seen him play. He was here the first round. We didn't see Georgia. That's why I think he's playing Envelope. I think Envelope is like his mini Georgia. Georgia Miliaev, by the way. This is Dredge Work. It's a new card. We've been seeing a lot of it today in the potential Unleashed decks and the Gagarin decks. This lets you bury agendas. And I didn't see what agenda he buried. It's definitely a 3-point agenda. It's actually really good because Remy has R&D focus.
Didn't you install it?
No.
And looks like a preemptive action last click. And if he puts him back into R&D, Remy's chance of winning on R&D is harder. Preemptive action, let's see what he puts back. It looks like some face downs. He wants to get snares in there, right? He buried TFP and Obokata? Oh, man. So that was actually a good turn to do the Divide and Conquer. So preemptive action, putting 3 cards back. That's 2 preemptives. These decks generally run 3 of them. Sometimes even divide the masses, or that's not what it's called. Fear, not, what is it? Placate the crowd. That's totally not right, but hopefully that sparked the right image. Feed them. I don't know.
So first click, I'm gonna run an iron.
Run a lot of recursion, archive memories too, just to play Neuros over and over again. You just want to grind them out, distract the masses. Thank you. Fear the masses is another card, and that's what's gonna happen here. We're making a run. Where are we running? Magnum Opus, mind you, restricted card, not even seeing played. Single axis off the top, Turning Wheel counter, taking a damage. It looks like it's a Breach Dome. Doesn't lose the Divide and Conquer. That's what Remy wants.
Yeah, I'll trash it.
Trash top card.
Yeah, I did.
Breach Dome. Also going to hit the top of your deck. It's another mod. You don't need that. Restricted card, Magnum Opus, and Remy isn't even playing it. Isn't that wild? He's not trashing the Breach Dome, which is actually really interesting. That's going to be a problem at some point in the future if he does Divide and Conquer and access HQ. It'd be funny if that's an issue to him. It also buys Sunko some value when it comes to installing. Also, like that Breach Dome's going to go into archives anyways, and that's the problem with Divide and Conquer is you access archives. So it's actually really hard for Remy to win off of it. Just the amount of brute damage. Like if there's 3 Breach Domes in there and he spends 1 to Divide and Conquer, man, it's going to be really hard for him to steal Obokata. But Remy doesn't want Sunko to draw a different card, so he's totally fine with him drawing the Breach Dome, and I don't disagree. But Divide and Conquer is going to be an issue.
Don't worry about it.
And you see here, Sunko doesn't really have a plan to score agendas. He just wants to fast advance things out. He has 1 more fast advance target with Shimon from Tenon, which would be the Philotic Entanglement, a 1 of in the deck. He has a Philotic in hand. And it looks like he's going to jam into the remote behind 3 ice. He's sitting on, I think it's, maybe those are 5s, maybe those are 3s. At least 13 credits.
And yeah, I forgot to get like.
Divide and Conquer will hit Dome and Archives first. Yes,
Mandatory.
it will. If it's an HQ, it's better, but Sunko can definitely throw those out.
Click 1, install. Gain 2.
Upgrade on R&D, assuming it's a Hokusai. Nothing being advanced to the remote server. No idea what it is, but he trashed the dredge work for it, so it looks like Remy wants to run it. I don't know how many stairs we saw, but Remy's only standing on 3 or 4 cards left in R&D, so
Mandatory draw.
can't be making that many more runs. Man, my voice is falling apart. Over install, excuse me, on that remote server for 2 credits. Click for 2. Sunko knows he doesn't have to do anything. Generally, the thing with runners is that they draw cards, and Remy understands. A bit disciplined here. Just take 4. That's the Breach Dome, it looks like. Just take 4. Don't draw anything. What are you going to draw? Econ cards? Just take 4. And Remy's sitting there with all the money. He knows if he has indexing, he has a good chance of winning, and he has an indexing in hand. He has to be able to run that server twice. He needs cards in hand with the House of Knives, with the Hokusai, and able to steal a Obokata. It's going to be very difficult. They're both on those purple sleeves. Yeah, those are Dragon Shield. Purple matte sleeves. I think Sunko's might not be matted, actually.
May I?
Yeah, you can.
Matte sleeves are a really big deal on camera. Kind of a snob.
Gain 4.
All right. Remy, 5 cards I think left in R&D, clicking for 4 still. Sunko, if he wants to fast advance out, he can't. He can fast advance out to 4 points, but he's going to have to install double advance. And that's kind of an issue, and Remy knows this. To win, Sunko's largely going to have to install double advance or install advance. There's a wee chance that he can have 3 shipment from tendons and he can score a never advance 5-3. But he needs to be able to score 1 3-pointer. And Remy knows if he wins on a 3-pointer. Like, Remy can just click to 4 credits and do nothing, and I think he will eventually win the game. Because Sunko can't build a remote that is unstealable for Obokata. Unless he has 3 Kakugos and a Hokusai grid, maybe that's it. But Remy knows that Sunko's going to have to score a 3-point agenda. And he has to install advancing. He has to make it. There's no other advanceable cards in this deck. So Remy clicking for 4, I think, is a very future-thinking plan. I don't know what Sunko has to do. Sunko has to figure out how to steal an Obokata. Remy ran apparently last turn.
He made a run though.
He didn't make a successful run though. I think that's only
I
successful.
thought it was a successful.
I don't know what Remy did. Did he make a successful run?
Top card.
That's 2 more cards. That's huge. Like, these hit points matter so much.
Advance.
Advance. Okay, that's an Obokata. Remy has to get into this remote. He needs to get into this remote. And double Neural. Oh man, that's the Divide and Conquer. Running last turn, huge issue. Remy's on 5 cards. He can't check that remote anymore. Oh, Neural doesn't require successful. Would you look at that? Thank you. This is huge. He has 4 cards, which means he can't steal Obokata if he takes any net damage, which means he can't steal Obokata. Remy has now lost the game unless he can steal Feature Perfect. Gaining 4 was doing him well, but that run for no reason, that's not going to do it. And there you go. He has a single advance just so he can do advance shipment from Tenon, and now we are on 5-4. If Remy doesn't run, he loses to shipment from Tenon. If Remy runs and loses 1 card, the only way he can win this game is Future Perfect. The Philotic doesn't do it. There's not enough 1-pointers. It's literally 1 agenda that Remy can win with, and he has to still play a side game. This is going to be crazy. There's the Kakugo. He could bounce there if he wants.
1, 2,
Oh no. Yeah, that's a really big deal. Remy running and losing 2 to double Neural might actually take him out of the game.
I'll go HQ.
He's building those turning wheel counters. I think at the end of the day, the turning wheel counter is the best bet he has.
7 you mean?
But Hokusai, Obokata, House of Knives means that he's going to die to Snare. He might die to double Breach Dome. He definitely can't steal Obo.
Sorry, slow down. So you broke 7 with this.
Yeah.
This
We're
is
running
3
HQ.
to break. It's 1. Oh, sorry. I thought it was this.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
fine.
Cards in your.
Or maybe not.
3.
If I'm not mistaken, you can see an Obokata there on the right side of Sunko's hand.
Sure.
That's an unstealable card.
Can I access it?
Actually, whoa. He has 3 cards in hand, yeah, so it's unstealable. Doesn't even res the Hokusai grid. Doesn't matter to him. He's accessing everything. That's an Obokata. He's 1 card short. Double Obokata. Archive memories. Oh, man. Sunko installed doubles advances, and Remy has to win this turn or he loses. Can't steal it. Doesn't have enough cards. Remy only play, run R&D, get Future Perfect, win side game.
2, 3.
So he's going to run it 3 times to get 3 turning wheel counters and then do a Maker's Ire. This is it.
Yeah,
It all
3.
comes down to Future
And then I'll go
Perfect.
there.
Sure.
So break for 2.
And you saw, Remy played really conservatively, didn't install anything that he didn't need. Didn't install Magnum Opus, didn't install excuse me, Daily Casts. Didn't install Cyberdelia.
Break for 4.
Pays 4. Envelope is another 4.
Break for 4.
The I key. You can break 2 of those subroutines.
Thinking.
Yep.
Not a lot of credits here. You want to make sure you have at least 2 credits when you access.
Okay, no res.
Accessing 3 cards.
Sure.
We're letting that side game fire. Let's see 3 cards. This is huge.
Do you want to access this first?
Future
or no?
perfect.
Okay. Card
This
one.
is where it's at.
It's like
Future perfect! Off the top. That's the last future perfect in the game. He
that's
found
a
it.
tight game. I like it.
Ooh, I mean, that's
Oh my god, we have a side game here for the whole game.
Jeez.
Oh, sorry.
1 in 3 chance. What a game. 0-1 and 2. Sungo knows if he gets this, that's it. Oh, 0-1. That goes back. Remy sees 2 more cards. Might just die to a snare here. Double access. Doesn't find it. Trashes the drudge work. Mandatory draw of the triple advance. Sungo takes
tight,
it.
man.
8 points to 4. Boy, it looks like he was only 1 card short. It was more than that considering House of Knives.
Yeah,
And
I knew.
he didn't res Hokusai's and stuff like that. Remy had the 1 and 3. That's what Potential Unleash does. Don't install your cards. Don't draw.
GG.
Do as little as you need to do, and you still have a pretty good chance. Remy looking so good starting that game at 4-8, but could not get the last agenda. Potential definitely unleashed. We're swapping sides. Smoke against Asmari. What a game. What a game.
Awesome. I'm gonna.
We're back, round 2, game 2. So I believe these players are at 12 points, which means if Remy loses this game, he's likely out of the top 8.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I don't think that you need a sweep to make the top 8. Either of these players could do it, but if someone does get swept, they're definitely out. So Remy is holding on to a top 8 finish. It looks like Sunko might be good. It's going to come down to strength of schedule and how the
I don't want you to miss your trigger.
other sides are doing. If you're just tuning in, welcome. This is Montreal Regionals 2018. We're at BD Cosmos out here in Laval. We are live streaming. This is the first time I've live streamed an event. Huge shout out to Julien for running this event. Showed up early in the morning to help us set up. Huge shout out to Marc Andre for. I don't have a car. We had to return because I forgot my tripod. We had to come here, set up real early. Huge shout outs and also to VTTV Live. Check out their Twitch channel and of course to Dodge Pong. These are his elements as well. More Shaper than I'd expect. I've been hearing that, John, that a lot of the Shaper people are regretful for bringing it, but there is more Shaper than Criminal, and that's actually a surprise to me. Not sure if I would show up to win if you show up with a Yamcha playmat. Is that who that character is? I keep saying it's Goku, and that seems to upset Remy. The run on HQ to farm a Turning Wheel token was a weird play. Just got little value, such a big risk. I agree. That cost Remy the game. Triple advance. What is he doing here? Peace in Our Time is coming out. Now, I'm going to actually pause this to go ask Remy to use cards to show event operation, because otherwise we have no idea what he's playing, and I don't love that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to interfere with their game. Because I'm just going to ask him to show event operation or resource just so the chat can know. I'll be right back.
Click 1 is draw. Click 2 is draw. Click 3. Click 4. Go ahead. Sorry, interrupt.
Is it possible you can show a resource hardware event to program just so the stream knows what you call?
Okay, cool.
You do your turn all
No, that's why I was like, should we show it or please continue?
That's 2 times. 4.
Trash.
So I'll keep the resources.
Okay.
I'll worry about it.
Click 1 is draw.
Yep.
Click 2, Cyberdelia.
Yep.
Clicks 3 and 4 would just be credits. Your turn.
Draw. Saw a card. Game 2. Your turn.
All right, sorted. So now Yamcha there on the left is equipped that whatever he calls with Asmari ability is going to be shown on top of his identity. I sent him a criminal deck that I have. So we're going to see a lot of blue cards, but that rogue trading means that a resource has been called. So if Sunko installs a resource first time a turn, Remy's going to get 2 credits. If he changes that, we'll see what he cycles the card that's on the top. Terrence, I've not live streamed a tournament. No, we recorded those.
Still on.
I live streamed a tournament once. We did a draft tournament. That was really casual. Sunko. What a setup. Wait, is Remy on 3 points already? What just happened?
2.
3 points, securing the Beal, scoring a TGTBT, a spicy trap, but Sunko is relatively set up. 2 cloaks. He just needs to find that what's it called? The Netrunner. He needs to get his radio station online. It looks like those Cyber Dailies are going to get value. Cyber Delia plus the efficiency stealth breakers plus the cloaks. He's going to get a lot of value there. He's not going to be paying a lot of money to break stuff, let alone this NBN Ice is generally trace based. That generally means the strength is higher than they should be, but he's going to get a bit of a leg up there. 6 MU.
So I gained 5 with this and 4 with HP.
And the money is good. Calling resource, mind you. And unfortunately, Sunko has installed all the programs. He's basically playing around. There's a switchblade. It looks like he's playing around just the Netrunner, maybe on Beth Kilrain Chang, maybe other stuff. And that's an Archangel for 4, which I think Sunko actually only breaks for 2 to 3 credits, maybe even free.
Gain 2.
Yeah.
Access top card.
Switchblade, mind you, is a killer. It's a criminal killer. It needs a lot of stealth credits, but it breaks everything for 1 credit if you can get it up. Generally, these NBN decks are not making that much money. Sorry, what was I saying? No, these NBN decks are not running a lot of sentries. Excuse me. There actually is the first time that Asmari should trigger. We get the Netrunner down. But the only sentries they're largely playing are Data Raven, which you can get through it a lot of ways, but a lot of times it's the News Hound.
I mean, that's why you played it, right?
News Hound is
So you can get
largely...
money.
Netrunner's are... Wow, Switchblade's pretty good with that. Double icing on R&D. We got to go here. Yeah, actually making money, right? Peace in Our Time's coming down as well. And while Remy does have a fair bit of credits, that's kind of the thing here. Is if Sunko has credits and has his breakers, it does not matter that Remy has money. You have to play around hard-hitting news, but with access to misdirection, it doesn't matter that much. You just need to make sure you have money. And if Remy reses all his ice, I still think Sunko gets through it for relatively cheap. That's a DJ Fenris. And a new card from Random Reverie. What a card. 1 influence. Get 1 in the box. Host a Gmod identity. A lot of options here today. It looks like it's going to be that nice full copy of Steve Cambridge. It's an ability that not a lot of people played Steve, at least around my area, but its ability when you can add it for 1 influence to any other deck. Oh man, does that sound good. And that it is. It adds some good HQ pressure to a deck that struggles with HQ pressure. It lets you recur all those really strong operations that Sunko has been playing since turn 1. It gives a lot of choice too. It gets a little bit of recursion, turning wheel value as well when you're running HQ. What a card. Remy's still up 3 points, but if he's trying to score behind Taxing Ice, Stealth Breakers are really hard to tax out. Now, I think we had Sunko on camera once and we did not see what Fractor he was on. The IP block, mind you, is only a Trace 3. Cyber Deli does not give Link. The Memory Diamond does. Looks like we're just going to trace through that for some credits. And Smoke, I don't think Smoke has Link, does she? Access on HQ. Gonna use a credit to boost the Refractor just to get a credit onto Netrunner. Gonna use Steve Cambridge's ability to pick 2 cards. And you gotta choose which one you want Sunko to keep. The other's removed from the game, and it looks like he's okay with him having that Employee Strike. Get out of there. So Sunko largely gonna get more money, and that's actually something that Remy can play around. If Remy is pretty sure, food, that's a restricted card and 2 more points for Sunko. If Remy is sure that at any point in time Sunko is going to play that Peace in Our Time, he can always jam into a remote server, because if Remy plays, or sorry, if Sunko plays Peace in Our Time, he can't run that turn. That's a Gutenberg on R&D. And that card is actually really hard to deal with. It's a very high strength ice. It has a very strong trace when it's on R&D. It's a very strong ice. And very fortunately, that's a 6 rank sentry, which if anything can deal with it really well, that is Switchblade. So Sunko's actually breaking that and making money with all the recurring credits and all the Cyber Delia. So he's set up. We have Glacier against a deck that can eat Glacier Ice relatively well. So Remy has some work to do. And I think it's going to come down to traps like TGTBT. There's a big chance that Remy is on Fly on the Wall, considering his closed account in the hand. Fly on the Wall seems like a good include, maybe even C-Source, maybe even CU, I doubt it. And hey, Peace in Our Time. It's still a 5 credit lead for the Corp, or for the runner, sorry. That's really good. And Sunko's not going to run this turn. It gives him some good time to set up. And you know what? We talked about not knowing what Fractor that that Sunko's on. It's actually a lamb, not a stealth breaker. I actually like that idea. I think if all your breakers are on stealth based, it kind of stretches you a bit thin and relies on a resource that you might lose at some point in the game if things don't go you well. And this is a very flexible breaker. Any number of barrier subroutines, and you can make any ice a barrier for 2 credits, is a really good breaker. Gets them through some of the biggest ice for only 7 credits, which looks bad compared to other stealth, but you do what you need to do. Sunko fully set up, has all the breakers, has 3 recurring credits a turn, plus all the Netrunner, plus Cyber Delia. He can be running everywhere. He wants to just get that turning wheel value. He wants to get a Steve Cambridge value. Not that many Steve Cambridge choices. Once he plays some gambles, that's some free value, but we're accessing archives here, and we're going to see what we threw out. Toll Booth. That card. Standard procedure. Standard procedure. Zero cost operation. That lets you look at the runner's hand and gain you credits, and that lets Remy play around certain things. Lets you know whether they have breakers. Not a big deal when Sunko has everything installed. And there's not that many shaper tricks that you play around. Everything's kind of expected. Still some very good operations to play around. Whether Remy's going to go and swing into that and play other things like Salem's Hospitality, I doubt it.
No, thank you.
Single access off top of the R&D. Not the agenda that Sunko wants, but building the turning wheel counters, I think he runs that for largely free. And it looks like Remy's just going to call resource, by the way, and leave it. I think you might want to change resource. Maybe you want to call event at this point, because Sunko's installed everything he needs in terms of resources. And Steve is probably good enough at recurring events. Might want to reconsider. Hard-hitting news, burning a hole in the hand. It looks like that's a Biotic Labor. That's a spicy card for 7 credits. You can fast advance out an agenda. And by an agenda, I mean this agenda. This looks like a 7-point Beal. I don't think you want to score a TGTBT for that fast. And Beal is putting Remy on game point. If he can recur that Biotic Labor, he has the easiest win condition. Sorry, I can't show Biotic Labor or Beal. Of course, that cards aren't working. Paragon coming down. We saw this in round 1. Oh. That's a cool console splash. Lets you control your card draw, gain a credit on the run, and Sunko's deck is set up to run for as cheaply as possible, so that really helps. The tutor, or not the tutor, the scry on top of your deck seems good. Looks like we're indexing here. That's going to be a very strong indexing. Just going to lock the next 5 cards of R&D. There's Mad Dashes in hand. Sunko only needs 2 agendas in theory. Mad Dash into a 3-pointer. Come back for a 2. It's kind of hard to pick out what Remy's agenda, what agendas he's running. Imagining a 3 food, 3 Beal on the top there. We do see a fly on the wall, which is a very scary card. Install double advance. If you don't run that, you think that's an NGO front. You advance that. You close their accounts.
Click 2.
Looks like we've arranged that. He can go back in for largely free, maybe even making money, just to steal that fly on the wall. You want to at least take that away. It puts you on 3 points.
Fire the trace.
And then indexing mind you gets a turning wheel counter. Very strong. Trace 6. He breaks that for 3 credits.
I'll access 2 cards.
Going to see 2 cards, so that takes a food. And that takes 15 minutes. There's a fly on the wall still in there. I don't think Sunko needs it. It's 5 to 5 points, but even there's some cases where Remy will want to Biotic Labor out a fly on the wall just to close accounts. That has some value, but with this many recurring credits, I think if Sunko does get his accounts closed, from that point on, he's only scared about hard-hitting news. He can still break most of this ice for relatively cheap, if not free. So from that point, Remy could follow up with a hard-hitting news. I don't know how he closes the game from there, whether he's on Boom. That would be a way. If he's on Psychographics, he has 2 Beals out. He needs the Psychographics of food. And Sunko still knows that there's a fly on the wall coming up on R&D. Poking HQ. That pop-up window, just a little annoying. And Steve looks like he's going to fire here, and you can get some good choices here. I don't think you want to give indexing as a choice unless there's 2 indexings, because the Corp never picks indexing. So it looks like it's gamble indexing, actually. You can keep the gamble. Let's run HQ, make 4 credits largely. You still got to play the card. And a single access here. That's a hard-hitting news. Another turning wheel counter. Or BX 2 there. Yeah, Phil, I'm trying to figure out what the agenda density here is. Probably 3 food, 3 Beal. We've seen the 15. We've seen a fly on the wall at TGTBT. Now, actually, it's very important to know Remy is playing as Mari, but he is actually playing 49 cards. I don't know whether I don't think he could figure out what cards to cut from it, and he just wanted to play play more of them. So he's actually on a 20 agenda points lead. If you play Asmari with 44, you can only play 18 agendas. So Remy's doing math here, and if he does have a C-Source in hand, 10 cartridge, like you're saying, you can do C-Source into closed accounts, into hard-hitting knees, and that's a brutal turn. And there you go. I think he has it. That's C-Source into closed accounts. Whoa, Remy's coming back. And you ran this turn. That's a hard-hitting news. Remy, absolutely stunning play. Had everything in hand. Only left with 3 credits, mind you, but 2 pop-up windows are up, 1 on HQ. Sunko with 5 tags, no credits. Quantum predictive models, if those are in the deck, those are actually really good right now, but Remy feeling good. Now the thing is, Sunko, any other deck would be in such a bad spot at this point, but Sunko can break ice for free, let alone make money with both a combination of Paragon and Cyberdelia. Sunko still very much in this game. Only 2 cards in hand, so any punishment is going to be really unlikely. He knows what's coming up. That's a second indexing. And Sunko can get through all this stuff. Gaining 2 credits, Remy changes to Operation. Get that as Mari value. Needs to recover here. But Sunko can definitely lock out. He only needs 1 more agenda to win. And all these recurring credits, all this credits, all this Cyberdelia, all this Paragon. He's getting in here. He's going to scry a card, put on the bottom of the deck. Just want to draw. I think it's another Paragon 5 off the top. And you know if he's drawing a Psychographics, he's going to bury it. If he's going to draw a Boom, he's going to bury it. If he's going to draw an agenda, he's going to steal it. Maybe he wins the game. Sunko. That's a Beal on top, if I'm not mistaken. Is that a Beal on top, Sunko? Takes the tag. Bounce whatever you want. It doesn't matter, because you know what's on top? Somebody looking at a lot of screens all at once. Beal, 7 points. Sunko barely scraping by there at the end. I don't think Remy had punishment. I want to see what's in his hand. He's drawing into it. We see what's in a lot of his deck. There's some foods.
So that's why I'm like, I gotta go.
I think we saw Snare. We saw Thoth. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know what he's drawing into. I think he needs Boom. Maybe he doesn't have it. Oh, Exchange of Information obviously would do it for sure. Exchange of Information would have been game. Couldn't find it. Psycho was the other option. Remy gets swept by Sunko. That's going to take him out of the top 8 cut, and I think we're going to be seeing Sunko real soon at them top tables representing Toronto. While that sun just creeps in there and robs the color from those playmats. What a game. With that first game coming down to Future Perfect, the perfect card on the top into the perfect side game with just amount of credits, and the absolute brutal NBN play that exists now. Sunko is pulling it off. Recurring credits will do it. We'll be right back. I think we're going to take about 25 minutes, maybe a bit longer. We have 20 minutes in this round. We're going to take time to set up, and then we're going to be back in with the top cut. We got a top 8 cut double elimination. Still a lot of Netrunner to play today. I might be back sooner than that. We might talk. We might chat, go through deck lists. We might actually just like hang out and play some arcade games. We'll figure it out. I'm going to put a timer up for now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Oh, wait, I can do this. What up? It's getting real warm in here by the windows. We'll be right back. Oh, I got to set up the timer first.
I'm like, what if he knows that I got to bid 1? It's like a mind game?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, what up? I just want to show this real quick. Hey, Mathieu. Oh, man, can we see that? They just raffled off. They have a 2013 Android Netrunner banner as prize support that got raffled off. Is there any way we can see that banner? Can we bring it here? We're going for a ride, y'all. It's going to be hard to show. Oh, yeah, also, what's up? This is Beat Cosmos. How's everyone doing? Hey, bud. Oh, there's a banner from 2013 back there. Oh, they're coming. There it is. Regionals 2013. That was the first regionals in Montreal. Someone's walking home with that banner. So we're announcing our top cut right now. It's a clean cut. All 8 players have the same score. 9th player does not have that score. Oh, we're doing some raffles, actually. Excuse me. We're giving Ed some tokens. I'm going to just turn the camera around. You're not going to hear it really well, but whatever. You still see the timer? How's that possible? That's not possible. CMB, you might want to refresh your stream. Woo. Woo.
Extra card. Which means if it's 5 through 8, it'll be at the end of the cut.
Professor, how many people total? We have 25 people here today. So that's 4 rounds, top 8 cut. It's about to start real soon. We got to do some deck checks, so we're going to do that, and then we'll be back. Dexora, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for dropping by. We don't have the best camera angle here. I know we don't have audio on this camera either, so I'm going to narrate everything. A scripted video. I got some tokens. Oh, these are really old tokens, too. Woo, Remy. Got some tokens right there. Oh, those are from year 1. Those are really old. Hey, Pat. What you get? Hey, what's the plan for the stream? We got top cut starting in about maybe 20 minutes, and then we're showing the game. Like, that's the table you see over there on the left, and we're going to be doing commentary and watching the game. We got double elimination here, top 8. Very competitive cut. Remy's got more credits. Remy, how many credits you get? Annie Abisha, Ottawa, 8th place. Coming in with 18 points. All the players who came in the top cut are all at 18 points. 7th place, Jonathan Yao. Jonathan Yao, I don't know where Jonathan Yao's from. 6th place, Sungho Lee. Saw him twice on stream. We're going to see him again. Sungho organizes a lot of events in Toronto. Very strong player today. He's playing some Potential Unleashed, playing some Smoke. 4th place, our very own Roberto Linto. Montreal represent. Oh, merci. Peter Hernandez, 5th place. 3rd place, we have Ryan Ormsby. We saw Ryan on stream round 2. He's been playing for a year from Ottawa. Glad he could drop by. 2nd, Julien Deville. That's a good finish. Canadian national finalist. And Kyle Chu, King of Swiss. Number 1. That's where we are right now. Ooh. I'm bright.
7 cards left.
So we're gonna be back real soon. We're gonna be back with topic cut. This might take a bit because we have to do deck checks. We have to make sure everything is organized and nice. We'll be back. We're gonna be doing commentary with other people. It might not just be me anymore. We got this microphone. Hopefully that's not too loud.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So we'll set that up. We'll be right back. We're gonna throw up that timer again. Sorry to keep coming in and coming out, but we'll be back here for the gameplay. Thanks for watching. Let me just set up that timer.